Next, the boys must make a difficult choice. Don't touch that dial.
I would like, if I may, to take you on a strange journey.
We would be honored if you would join us.
Let's get ready to smoke a bowl.
Everybody must get stoned.
Heroes in a half shell, turtle power.
We talking about practice.
Scorpion wins.
America's most money.
Cook with me now, cook with me now, I'm making pancakes. Cook with me now, cook with me now, fresher than a motherfucker.
Greetings and welcome to a new episode of Cooking on High. My name's Mark, but you already know that. And this episode's another fly on the wall, as I like to call them. Me, Tim, and Jacob at Tim's house, talking about mainly a lot of books, from Stephen King to Deadpool to Walking Dead, and then to Walking Dead the show, and to Deadpool, and to Stephen King movies. So this episode's about books into movies and movies into books and vice versa, and then we just get really stoned and end up playing Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Sega Genesis. So enjoy the show.
Someone goes through the timeline or goes back in time, like he goes slowly crazier, so the card changes colors, but eventually it gets black.
Oh yeah. Like it's kind of like a health monitor type deal.
Yeah. There you. I never. But I always liked how
there's a card that it's like he's got like a fedora, and then there's like a yellow like card, and it looks like a post-it note on the series, but like it's supposed to be like this yellow card, and like yeah, when he first shows up, like he's looking around, and everyone's dressed like it's.
He has to give 50 cents. He's gonna ask for 2 bits.
Yeah, that's what this is. Like he's gonna ask for. But yeah, it's but yeah, as he keeps on fucking with the timeline, because like he fucks up.
He goes insane.
It's like he's like, alright.
Because he's juggling all the, it's like the balloon theory, the string theory of universes. Like there's universes, there's different strings, different realities, and every time he goes back, it entangles them. And like the card monitors his sanity, so to speak.
Because that guy is keeping that timeline. Like
he's unraveling.
It's like he's keeping it in check, but here's this guy who's just like, well, whatever the fuck, I'm just gonna toss things around. But I like on the series they keep like everyone keeps on coming up to him and is like, you're not supposed to be here. It's like it's back at the yellow card man at first, but then like it's just like everyone just like if he's sneaking into some place, like or if he's trying to find something out, someone will come, hey, you're not supposed to be here. But
he's not supposed to be there because he's not supposed to be.
He's not supposed to be in the past. That's the yellow card man knows that he's from the future. He's not from that timeline, but everyone else just says it to him.
Physically.
But see, in the whole greater scheme of things, it ties in with the Dark Tower too. Like the license plates add up to 19, and the kids from it come out in the book. Beverly and Richie after the fight with Pennywise, the final one, and like. The agents of the Crimson King are what they're called the Low Men in Yellow Coats. That's who was after Ted Brodigan in Hearts of Atlantis. They're the agents of the Crimson King. They're talking. They're like animals mixed with humans, but they wear like skin-covered costumes that like you can see their skin moving underneath. They're like bird heads, squirrel heads, wolf heads.
Sound like insults.
Squirrel head.
Fuck you, bird head.
But I don't know the big wolf head.
Like in that story you're about the Kindle, where this guy orders a Kindle and they all come in white, but this one he gets is pink, and he opens it up and it's like access all these years, and each year is a different reality. So there's like 4,280,000,000 whatever years, and in every single one there's an Ernest Hemingway. In some of them he didn't shoot himself and he lived to old age and wrote more books. Edgar Allan Poe didn't die drunk in the gutter. He lived beyond, and the guy starts reading these stories from famous authors, but in his world, they never got to that point.
So he takes them?
So he goes nuts, but there's a certain section of the year where they can, like, look into...
Spell this word?
U-R. But, There's another one. There's like 3 sections. There's newspapers. So he goes to like another year or like 1963, the Cuban Missile Crisis. End of all news reports. The whole world kills itself in nuclear holocaust. And yeah, so basically it was a test device that the Crimson King had created, and these guys, because he finds the future, his girlfriend's going to die in the bus with him, and he goes and stops him. And you know, the Logan and Yellow Coats come to get him and take it back. And they're like, well, if you guys, I don't know, dude, it was such a good short story. Huh?
Go to.
But that's what I think the Yellow Card Man is. He's like an agent of the Crimson King.
Yeah.
Because
like with any organization, there's posts, right? And so that's like his post.
Yeah, like
and he's just like, well, same shit all the fucking
in the Dark
time.
Tower, they're called Finnies. They're hollow places between worlds. Because when the Prim was seeded, when Gon, or God, if you will, created the universe, there was like an offset where like the leftovers formed like the buffer between the heavens and earth, and that's where all the monsters reside. And then basically the Crimson King came from that, and there's like, it's called Todash Darkness. Like you can go Todash, like disappear and go into other worlds. Like Randall Flack can do that. He calls it
Just the end of that series.
What's
when he's like, well, I guess I did it, and then he goes back and everything's like fucked up.
Yeah.
And then then the guy that's like another guy with the card in his head, he's just like, yeah, you fucked shit up.
See, the cool thing about the
Is
tower,
that 8-part show? Next series?
But see, like in the tower, God or Gon created the beams, the portals, the tower, his physical embodiment in the prime world to hold all realities together. The great old ones were like technologically savvy. They killed all the magic and they did it mechanically. So the beams were like magnetic beams, and they made everything mechanical, and now it's falling apart. Hence, you know, things colliding, and like people with psychic powers can break the beams mentally, and that's Ted Brodigan is like the main breaker.
That's why they're trying to get him.
Yeah, in the movie
together.
you don't get that. You think it's just a CIA agent trying to, you know. But
Or
also,
that he's just insane.
and also though, they're going to do a show on TBS where there was developments of it called The Shop. And The Shop is an organization like the CIA, but they're after people with mental powers like that, like Carrie, the chick from Firestarter, and they have a big prominent role in Tommyknockers. But they're like the CIA.
That's the one with Al?
And Tommyknockers takes place in Haven. And
That's one of the
Haven,
lyrics.
Okay.
Or Al's the science fiction writer.
but then Haven is the show, but that's where Tommyknockers takes place.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and Haven was based on Colorado Kid.
What was Kingdom Hospital? Or based?
It was just...
It was just a TV show he developed?
Yeah. I mean, it may have...
And they just kind of used his name.
Well, hell, even in the fucking American Vampire, I can't figure out if it's Jack Torrance's father, but in one of the autopsy rooms, there's a guy with a toe tag, Jack Torrance. Jack Torrance is the guy in Shining. And so, this is in the 20s, so I'm betting it's his dad. So he does little shit like that, dude. Even in the comics, it's fucking cool.
It was,
Why not,
watching that.
why not him? Why couldn't The Shining take place then?
The Shining took place in the 70s. It was period piece because he wrote it. He wrote it in Colorado. He took a vacation over there. But like the Dark Man or Randall Flagg also appears in the Long Walk. That's a Richard Bachman book. And
That's his pseudonym, right?
yeah, and Shawshank Frank Darabont has the rights to it, and it's all of Richard Bachman's books are about a post-apocalyptic world. Like Roadwork, this guy, it was when the highway development got real big, which started under Eisenhower in the 60s, 70s. A lot of people were displaced from their homes for highway development. So the government was like, we'll give you $30,000 for your house, and we're going to plow over it. This guy wants to fight it. So it's all government-based, like fear against the government. And
It's like what Billy the Kid did with the railroads.
yeah. But in the Long Walk,
Look it up.
like in Running Man, you know how Running Man is like a government broadcast show, The Last Escapee, like it was reality television way ahead of its time, it was never caught until later. But in this, it's the same thing. It's a government thing where like teenagers will walk from Maine to Florida, and if they stop 3 times for more than 10 seconds, they get a strike. The third strike, an army agent, fucking army guy shoots them, kills them dead. But if the guy that survives wins at the end, he gets whatever he wants. And at the end, the guy's all Richard Garrity. He walks up to the line, and then at the end of the book is real cryptic. In the dark, he saw the dark man in the shadows, and he beckoned to him with one finger, and then he screamed, and the book ends. But he wrote it in college. But that's the dark man is that poem I got over there, that little book there. This is cool because he wrote this on the back of a placemat in 1969. This was the impetus of Randall Flagg. And then the next appearance of the
Randall
dark
Flagg is
in The Stand.
The Stand, right?
Yeah. But
I was about to say The Strain. I knew it wasn't right.
But he also comes out in Eyes of the Dragon, which takes place in the Middle Ages. But like, it's a real weird book. Like, it's just poetry. Really cool. It is. But there's one here. I like that part. It's a cool fucking book. But yeah.
Is it?
But they got the perfect guy to play him in the.
Yeah.
It's gonna be. It's like the perfect fucking casting.
Yep. That is. Yeah.
Because the guy they played in the original movie wasn't really good. Yeah. But the best thing about
it was
that,
like, I think he like, and I think with the comic
was the court jester for Roland and his father, and he seduced Roland's mother, and under a spell, Roland shot his mother. He killed his mom. Like, he had this complex, so to speak, and that's when he went and he challenged court, with the thing. But the coolest thing about the Stand book, there's a cool 10-page story in the unedited version where they ask Stu Redman, like, what's the strangest thing aside from the superfluid you've seen? He's like, well, in about 1981, I was out of a job, I was laid off, the economy was bad, that's when the oil crisis had hit, gas was super expensive, and he's like, I was sitting there, and this old Cadillac pulls up, blaring, Hank Williams, and there's a guy there with long, bushy brown hair and a big beard, and he's drinking wine from a bottle, and he's like, hey, have I seen you before? Probably, man. And he goes back, and he's like, and then it hit me, and I was like, if you are who I think you are, you should be dead. Don't believe everything you read, man. It's fucking Jim Morrison. And he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna boogie on down to New Orleans all night and just hit the honky tonk, drive all night and sleep all day. It was real creepy though. But he does little cool shit like that, it's like, it all ties together.
Did you ever see that one Quantum Leap where Sam Beckett had traveled into this body of a guy who was like a science fiction or like a horror writer or something, and like these two kids like would come and bug him, like they were like big fans. This teenage boy and girl, they'd come and like hang out with him. And then one night, like something fucking strange started happening in the house. They figure out what it is, whatever. But at the end, he's like, "Well, Steve, I think there's like if you keep at it one day, maybe you'll be a writer." He's like, "Yeah, I got some cool stuff to write about now." And he's like, and like his mom pulls up in like in a fucking hot rod, and his mom's name is Christine, and like a big old Saint Bernard jumps out of the car. He's like, "Hey, Cujo!" And he's like, "Wait, what was your last name again?" King. Stephen King.
But he does shit like that, like in the Dark Tower. Eddie Dean, the heroin addict, is aware of Stephen King. He's like, isn't that creepy guy from Bangor that writes all those books?
I like Portable and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, he's a big character in part 6 and 7. Because he's basically God's physical embodiment. Like, King writes what God wants. Like, God acts like a channel. Like, it's...
Yeah, that's like the Supernatural. There's like in the Supernatural universe, there's supernatural books that like Sam and Dean were unaware of for a time, but then like when they found them, they find the author, and the author's like, "Holy shit, you guys are real!" And he's like, "Yeah, you've been writing pretty much our lives verbatim." He's like, "Yeah, this shit just comes to me," and it turns out he's a scribe of the Lord.
Yeah, and in part 6, like they have his journals, and he's like, because King wrote the Gunslinger. It was fantasy and science fiction magazine. It took like 6 years. He would publish like a 60-page section, like part 1, 2, 3, 4. Like part 1 was the way station, I think. Part 2 was the town of Tull, where there's that weed eater, and then he ends up shooting up the whole town. And then part 3 is the Oracle, which ends up impregnating Susanna. Later becomes Roland's offshoot because apparently the demon raped Roland took his seed, and then impregnated Susanna. which became Mordred, who was the half Spider King. He was also part of the Crimson Kings, bro.
Yeah.
He's fucking...
Yes.
My brain hurts.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't even got to Insomnia yet. But, and the thing about it, though, is he even says that the Dark Tower is one rough draft. He's like, you know, I need to rewrite it, you know, because after he got in a car, like, he got hit by the van, he was like, fuck, you know, someone sent him a letter, man, dude, I was telling my friend, I was like, holy fuck, the tower's falling now. The tower's crumbling. He's like, you know, man, because there's people, because he wrote the first one, came out in 78, and then part 2, 87, part 3, 91, and then 4, 97, he was already in his 50s, already battled coke and alcohol addiction. And then he wrote all three, the last three in one. Chigasso just one, you know, for a year, just wrote them all. That's why part 5, 700 pages, part 6, like 400, and part 7 is super long. But it's kind of rushed, and you can tell. But he's under a lot of pressure to finish it, man. The comic books, though, they take a whole
Still more
other...
in depth. Like, it's like
it's
a
part of
background that he never really thought about, I guess.
Yeah, and he approved it. But the thing about it, though, is the Crimson King wasn't mentioned until book 4. And
But
it's
like,
so weird because in the comics,
it's
he's
a
a
big part,
part.
yeah.
So how does it... That's the one disconnect.
But like, I've only read that first volume, and like, yeah, there's the Crimson King, but like, Roland isn't really so much aware.
Yeah, because that's always what's bothered me, you know, like, now that I've reread all this shit multiple times, like, I look at it more from a critical eye, and so I kind of see, this is, you haven't seen this?
No.
Yeah, there's a second volume.
I thought that was one.
This is the companion.
This is the companion, and then the first one.
But it goes into the backstory of a lot of shit. Fuck yeah, but yeah, the other one's there. It's obviously fuck yeah. But yeah, I mean, Crimson King's a huge fucking part of this.
The witness to the devil. Deity?
Well, I mean, I guess you could.
I guess that's how we would see it.
Yeah, because I mean, he was the main monster. Like before God created everything, the Todash darkness ruled. And then when God created the tower, created all the worlds, the Todash fell away, and it became the Prim, or hell, if you will. So all monsters reside. The Mist, that movie, those monsters came from the Prim. Came from that Todash darkness.
Those are some fucking Lovecraftian monsters, dude.
Yeah, well, he was a big Lovecraft fan.
You're gonna cover the mic or make it.
Yeah. God damn it.
Make it
heavy.
can't echo off that.
Yeah.
I had to get the other volume notes. I don't know if you read that one.
Which one?
That's fucking good. That's real good. What you call that? This guy becomes obsessed with like numbers. Like he goes into like a Stonehenge type environment where it's cut off from a gate, but like he just it's fucking. It's cool that he's moved towards like a comic sensibility because I mean in the 80s, 90s, all he did was that Heroes for Hope one issue.
Yeah. Well, I think he's like. I think he has seen like I think a while in the beginning he knew how powerful comics could be, like to tell his stories, but like they weren't gonna sell at that time. You know what I mean? He probably realized that and was like, okay, so like novels it is. But then like with this like the success Joe Hill had with Lock and Key.
I want to read that. What's the one he did? Road Rage? There's one he did like it was a Richard Matheson story. But it was like they did the first 2 issues.
I'm not sure.
Him and Joe Hill, and then it carried on. But no, he grew up on those. What was it? EC comics, the old horror ones from the 50s. He grew up on that, and that's what Creepshow was based on. You know, Tales from the Vault and shit like that. But I think it's become a much more marketable, and it's considered professional, and it's considered a legit art form of literature.
Yeah.
And really, I'm guessing,
well, like, there was a time where, where it really wasn't. But like Neil Gaiman, he got a Pulitzer for his one of the Sandman stories, the Midnight Summer's Dream story.
He legitimized.
Yeah, he legitimized the art of it, the comic book art, like the writing and the artwork and everything. So he got a Pulitzer for that. After that, they changed the rules to exclude comic books and graphic novels. But I'm pretty sure, with everything that's coming out, it'll be it'll come back into play again, because Hollywood today, is hey, let's make a movie based on a graphic novel, based on a comic book character, based on whatever.
And it's not just superheroes 30 Days of Night.
Exactly.
Yeah.
John Wick, I think, was a graphic novel.
History of Violence.
History of Violence.
No, even The Watchmen, no one fucking...
Watchmen was an anti-comic book, anti-super,
Sin City.
Sin City, yeah.
The one with Steve Buscemi and the two girls. Something wrong. Just one of my first back I can't remember. It's Laura Birch and Steve Buscemi. I don't know, it's a random comment.
Yeah.
But speaking of, they're gonna do Wolverine 3. They're gonna.
Oh, Old Man Logan?
Yeah.
That's right, that's what I heard.
And it's gonna be rated R.
Okay, this is something that, it has been brought up, already. Here we are just, a week and a half after
Deadpool?
After Deadpool has premiered to a resounding box office. So, of course, Hollywood thinks, we gotta make all our comic book movies R-rated now, which they don't.
I mean, the ones that need to be...
okay, if they're gonna make a Preacher movie, that shit should be R-rated.
Yeah.
But, okay.
But a Wolverine movie, R-rated.
You could do, you could, I think that's pretty much the only X-Men. Cable, maybe?
Yeah, I was gonna say
the Deadpool 2.
Deadpool, yeah.
That's gonna be dope.
But he's not part of the X-Men. He doesn't want to be part.
That's not your son.
Okay, but
X-Men itself doesn't have to be.
X-Men, no.
Avengers itself?
No.
Any of the Marvel cinematic, I doubt. I don't think.
Yeah, but
see,
I told him, they fucked up. They should have done Demon in a Bottle. They limited themselves. They were going to do it.
It looked like they were going that way.
Yeah, but on part, was it 2?
Part 2.
Yeah.
He's all drunk in the fucking... They should have done it. There's 2 Demon in a Bottle storylines, too.
Because, he kind of just got over the alcoholism pretty quick.
Yeah, because, it's...
Something that you really don't do.
The Demon in a Bottle story I had, that I bought from Frank, wasn't the original one, because I looked it up. It was the second one, and this one, he loses all his shit to Obadiah Stine. He's drunk, and there's a...
That would have been a great third one.
Obadiah Stine?
Because, he comes back and he's like, oh, by the way, Tony, you lost your company to me.
Yeah.
Doing all this fucking superior bullshit, you haven't been making money.
But he did that with his alcoholism, and there's a scene where his lover, or his previous girlfriend, is homeless, and there's a scene where... What's up? There's a scene where she's all in the snow, barely clothed, giving birth to a child, and Tony holds her, and the cops come and find him, and that's his impetus to change, because she dies and the baby's born. But there's a scene where he's all fucking hungover and drunk, and he passes out, and he sets fire to the hotel, some shitty hotel, and Captain America has to save him. But he gets so fucked up, there's one where it's just a real goofy scene. He steals a suit of armor, a knight's armor from a museum, and starts fighting drunks or whatever in the street, and the cops arrest him. But with a guy with the history of Robert Downey Jr., they really, really, really fucked up not doing Demon in the Bottle.
But see, it might have been something that he requested.
Yeah, not to do.
Because
too close though.
There's been interviews with Robert Downey Jr. and an interview kind of asked him, it's so do you think this image change kind of takes away from when you were a hardcore drunk and drug addict? And he was just what the fuck are you talking about right now? I'm here to talk about fucking like Captain America or Avengers or whatever, not just like let's keep it light or whatever. It's like, yeah, but you know, you can't deny your past. And he's like, well, fuck you.
And he's like, yeah, you walked down the interview, right?
Yeah. And so yeah, that could be something that he just wants to stay away from simply because he doesn't want to answer those questions. And you know, that's fine. Like that's his past, and like he's dealt with it, he's past it.
After a certain while, he's not going to be Iron Man no more.
Yeah.
So
they were developing. The writers developed that story, and then the studio said no.
It was probably because it was like a big request from.
But I mean, he still did a lot of it, and it wasn't the alcohol that was his problem. It was cocaine and heroin.
True.
So.
But just to play a character with addiction.
Yeah.
And then that's all the media would ever talk to him about as far as that movie goes.
I know they did that with Trent Reznor.
Now in this movie, Iron Man is a drunk. He's a drug addict.
How close?
Because that's why people
Did you study? Did you have to do?
That's why the casting though really like.
Yeah, it worked.
Because,
that's why it worked. Yeah.
Because it fit, you know. And then that scene, like, you know, when he's drinking, you know, doing the display, like, these are the weapons we have, and then later when he gets rescued, I want not that. I want an American cheeseburger. But, like, they touched on it, even in 2, when he's all drunk. You guys wondering how I'm going to the bathroom right now?
Yeah. But it was
so
like, well,
it got, I don't know.
It was, like, really close. It was really close in part 2.
And then part 3, just... No Mandarin.
I like part 3 a lot, though, the terrorist aspect. The Mandarin guy, when he was a fake, that was a weird turn.
Because I was real jazzed that Ben Kingsley was the Mandarin, and then he wasn't the Mandarin.
But I still like
spoilers.
Dude, that scene when they blow up his house and shit, dude, that was fucking... I love part 3. Part 3
was a whole lot better than part 2.
Part 2 was stupid with the fucking villain that was...
Mickey Rourke was a...
Yeah.
It wasn't good.
Well, he wasn't really the main bad guy.
He was a bad guy that was set upon Tony by the main guy.
Yeah. Hammer. Justin Hammer.
Yeah.
Which... in itself...
But what I did like about Iron Man 3 was that, like... What a lot of people didn't like about it was that you hardly see the Iron Man on throughout the movie. It's just Tony Stark being like MacGyver-y or whatever. And I was like, well, shit, he can't, like, he built the first Iron Man suit in a fucking cave.
Yeah.
It's like, of course he's crafty. He's fucking like, it's like he's fucking
But
Tony
see,
Stark.
that's what was cool about, I mean, part 1, like that scene, I mean, you gotta make your jaws drop. Like when it shows him and the terrorists are right there, got a gun to his head, Iron Man, like, dude, that was the best opening of any movie
Tom
ever.
Morello was in that movie?
Yeah.
I didn't know until, like...
It was just one of those things like, hey, it's Tom Morello. Like,
I saw, like, 5 cameos that you didn't know.
What are the Deadpool Easter eggs? Who's the character that came out that they got away with? There was some article about that.
There's, like, a lot of pokes, like...
Water Bob is like,
yeah.
The guy was like, Bob? Is that you? And then like, oh yeah. It was like, it was a sidekick that Deadpool had like in the books.
In the comics.
Yeah, but they, I guess, couldn't legally use him, so they just call him Bob. Made references to, yeah.
He's a AIM Hydra?
I think Hydra. Because, yeah, that's what he was saying.
He's a Hydra agent, right?
Yeah, they can't use any Hydra. The Hydra stuff because that's with the other company.
I don't like the guy's gonna play Flash.
Oh. Switching gears on us.
Yeah, just all of a sudden.
Sorry.
And then there was like a lot of Easter eggs where it's like they had like a Parker Boulevard or something, nods to Spider-Man. When he was picking the names, one of the names was Scaredevil.
Scaredevil. Yeah.
There's a lot of little pokes and jabs. But nothing real. I mean, the biggest thing was the helicarrier that they were fighting on.
Yeah, they were fighting on like
one of the helicarriers that
fell from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
It's a shield helicarrier where they were fighting on.
From the event from
the
when it got lifted into space or in the air at the end.
Not 2.
Avengers 1.
Oh, okay. So it's
well, then there was also Captain America with all the other helicarriers, are going to be.
Oh, that's right.
The only one I haven't seen is the first Captain America.
No, this was Captain America 2, right?
That was good.
Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier. Because they had to be in like 3 places at once, so there was 3 different helicarriers. So that could have been one of those 2.
Yeah.
I mean, the Colossus was just...
He was perfect Colossus, man.
It's just comic relief.
It's weird how like the straight guy could be comic relief.
Yeah.
Like, where the hell was everybody else at?
Yeah, right. It's almost as if the studio couldn't afford to.
And I had never heard of Negasonic Teenage... Whatever her name is.
Negasonic Teenage Warhead.
That one.
Yeah. She's like relatively new. Like it was originally supposed to be like Rogue, but then like Fox was like, nah, you can't use Rogue. We're gonna. It's like I think we're gonna use her in Apocalypse or something.
Are they?
Or some future thing. So they were like, no, you can't use her. And so they're like, all right, just make Sonic Teenage Warhead.
Okay.
She's gonna do the superhero form. You see that gif of it was Psylocke, the move like Uriman Psylocke, and she like jumps and like cuts a car in half and then lands, but like in the bottom of the same, it's like the same gif. Deadpool's like, she's gonna do it.
I like when Colossus is fighting that big bitch.
Yeah.
And his tip falls out.
It's like, oh,
you're so sweet.
No, but it just
hits him in the nuts.
It just reminded me of that scene from Half Baked.
Oh yeah,
it's a titty.
It's a titty.
Full on titty.
Right, dude, I was expecting Ryan Reynolds to go like, oh, we got a titty.
Yeah. I like Stan Lee's cameo.
The DJ at the strip club.
Yeah.
Stanley and tits.
Stanley don't even have anything to do with Deadpool, really. Like, didn't like as far as creation wise.
No.
But I mean, he's just Marvel granddaddy, so
he's gonna supposedly like
his last con is gonna be in Canada, of all places.
Well, I heard it's his last. This is his last Canadian appearance or his last?
No, it's his last convention appearance. He's done. Fucking almost 100.
93.
That's closer than you or I, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, I'll never get to see Stanley unless I like run into him somewhere.
Stan, Jacob, how are you?
I missed you at all the conventions. I left a press pass for you and everything. What? Listen to your show all the time. You sound a lot different. Well, I mean...
He's the 11th person that listens to the show.
I still like it in Penn and Teller. They did one on aging, and they had Jack LaLanne, and he was 90-something years old, and they're like, you know, everybody succumbs to cancer and other diseases and sickness, but not Jack LaLanne. He will never die.
Still alive or no?
No, he died.
No, he died. They were wrong.
But at one point it was Jack LaLanne. Jimmy Carter's still alive. He's in his 90s. Fucking Betty White.
She's in her 90s too. She's
Stanley.
I want to say Betty White and Stanley are the same age. William Shatner's 10 years younger than Betty White. That's crazy that he's fucking 80. He looks fantastic. I mean, for being 80, he looks fucking fantastic.
Yeah, for 80.
83, 84, whatever. Party names that on Chuck Norris's birthday. He doesn't try to sneak into his party. He wasn't invited.
Did you know that Chuck Norris invented rap music? The moment his heart started beating?
I haven't heard any Chuck Norris joke in forever.
That's my favorite.
My favorite is Chuck Norris once had an erection. There were no survivors.
It's like, there's all these Chuck Norris jokes, but do you know why there's no Bruce Lee jokes? Because Bruce Lee's no joke. It's better if you say like someone more contemporary, like Daryl Dixon. But you don't watch.
You don't watch Walking Dead.
You don't watch Walking Dead.
You should. It was really good.
I kind of want to read the comics first.
So you were there, right, when they said it was like 2 months or so after?
Yeah. You weren't there. I had to tell you.
Let's see the preacher show. Have you read the more than
That's where I heard it.
Yeah. But it was good, man. I liked it. That Jesus dude.
Yeah. What the fuck?
I think he's gonna take everybody into Negan, or
He's definitely like on a mission.
yeah. His fighting style was kind of out there too.
So did I tell you about my story idea? I told Mark about it.
No, sorry for what?
Okay, you know how nowadays, like with dating and things, and people do a lot of stuff online? Okay, I had this idea. I told you this, right? It's in the message somewhere.
Okay, so you're...
Yeah, it's... I don't know. It was weird. I was watching a Twilight Zone episode where this guy left his house. He's a writer, and he sees a woman in his... No, his wife sees him... I don't know. His wife's walking outside, walking up to the door, and she sees a woman in there. The guy can basically write characters to life, and then he'll burn them. Like, they'll come knock on the door, and he'll throw it in the fireplace. But anyway, I got this idea where, let's say you got like a guy that, two people that are married, they have no sexual passion. Like, they just do it for sex. They don't have any mental connection whatsoever.
Oh, okay.
One is like a stockbroker. The male is a stockbroker, and the female is like, she's a businesswoman that travels. So there's a lot of time apart. Well, let's say, like in this instance, the guy becomes infatuated with like online chats, online message boards, and he meets a woman from Latvia or Estonia or, Lithuania, one of those former countries. Yeah, they used to be part of the Soviet Union. Falls in love with her. She was in the sex trade, like white slavery, and they try to meet. Yeah, and they try to meet, and every time she goes, she has this huge panic attack and runs away, runs back home. And like, he finds this mental connection. There's nothing physical about it. Like, he's not attracted to her or whatever. There's a mental connection, and he doesn't get with his wife. Right. Well, in any event, he finally gets her over here. So what he decides to do is he's got this old mansion, and he has a hidden room where he houses her away from his actual wife. So he's living like two lives in the same building. And so eventually, like, the woman that was sold into sex slavery or whatever that's over here, she gets jealous because she can't have a one-on-one relationship. So she starts at night throwing shit against the wall, screaming and howling, making noises. The actual wife thinks the house is haunted. So the husband plays it off. He's going off.
Oh yeah, probably.
Yeah, he's going off and trying to find, like, he's finding, what are they called? The spirit world people or whatever, to like cleanse the house or whatever. But he knows deep down he's got this.
Since they're all bullshit, right? Like,
yeah, he's got this psychotic woman hiding in this hidden room. Well, eventually, the wife finds the room, and like the husband leaves or whatnot, and what happens is she goes in there, and it's this room, and there's all these pictures on this woman's clothes, and she sees these love letters written to her husband from this other woman. But she starts reading them, and then she starts flipping out because they're in her husband's handwriting. He created the whole thing. Like, he's got, like, what's that personality, the personality disorder where he creates another person. He's another person, and so she finds out that he's fucking nuts. He comes home and flips out. What did you do with her? What did you do with her? And so it's sort of like a Fight Club type thing, I guess you could say. But he's like, imagine the scene, he comes in, he sees the secret door open, starts flipping out. And
where is she?
Where the fuck is she? What did you do to her? Hey, you're nuts. This is you. This is you. The house is actually haunted. So then it twists again, and then fucking...
Dude, when he was telling me this, like, first off, like, he messaged me something, like, kind of just, was like, I thought he was in trouble or something. It was like at 3 o'clock in the morning, he messaged me something. It's like, I need to talk to you or something like that. I was like, dude, what's going on? And then, like, I got the 3 dots on the message for a long ass time, just 3 dots. I was like,
Which, like when a message like that, and then like long ass 3 dots, you're like, what the fuck is going on? This better be just like something super serious happened, or this better be super funny.
And then 3 dots is like, what the fuck is going on? And then
just break it up. Just break up the messages.
So anyway, when all this chaos is going on, the house is actually haunted. It's been speaking in like a female voice, and so that's why the guy has fallen in love with this other personality. And so basically, it's her versus her husband. He's going psychotic, like, where is she? Where is she? And then the ghost is speaking to him, so the ghost basically, it's in the house, fell in love with the guy, and is turning him, and is trying, but she's trying to keep it hidden from the other being. And so it turned, dude, it's all nuts. It's like a twist in a twist in a twist.
Yeah.
When I read it and we're going back and forth, like, it's fucking good. I was like imagining it in my head.
Yeah.
But I can just imagine the scene. The door's open, and she sees the letters. She starts crying.
It's like Fight Club meets Psycho meets
Shining.
I was gonna go The Others.
But there's a scene at the end where after the cathartic moment where everyone dies, the house is being rolled over, and a kid is coming by on a skateboard or on a bicycle, and he sees like this apparition just sitting there crying. It's the ghost of the house, and that's how it ends.
That's pretty good.
But I love the scene though, just thinking about it, where the door is open, and the wife's like, oh my gosh, she reads the letters, and it's like this woman professing her love for her husband. She starts crying and crying.
But she notices the
later on that the handwriting is her husband's. Made up the whole thing. It's a disorder. What the fuck is it called? I think it starts with a D, where you create a whole other reality.
Delusional?
It's not.
No.
But just the fact that he, to appease his wife, goes and gets these fucking ghost hunters or whatever, knowing that he's hiding a woman, but in actuality,
but
it's
since
true.
they're like shysters, since they're like sham people, like nothing happens, right?
Yeah.
So like, yeah, he's like, yeah, so you could have just like, it's like, so yeah, just to settle her down, I hired some people to play like mediums, and like,
he goes back in there, like, you know. But the reason it works out though is, you know, because, and it's funny because those mental disorders, they develop. A lot of people get them at older age, like, you know, 30s and 40s. And, but it works well because like they're always traveling, so they're never together. Right. And so he goes out to find, you know, his mental connection, and he finds it on this, you know, blog or whatever.
But it's something that he did himself.
Yeah, but just the fact that like because I was gonna do a whole chapter.
So like he could always like is like, so I fell asleep waiting for a message, and when I woke up.
Yeah, and he keeps trying to get it. I was even, the second chapter was going to be her whole backstory. That's why it was going to be such a big twist, because I devote like 30 pages to her slavery time. Because I've actually read shit.
That's like, yeah, him making the character.
To build the backstory, but then it's all bullshit, it's all in his head. But I read something that fascinated me where there's these people in like Sweden that fucking, they have sex with their children and keep the offspring and their kids hidden in the basement, away from the world. Yeah. Like completely fucked up shit. But when I saw Twilight Zone, like it popped in my head, like this guy's writing, and I was like, dude, he's got a woman hidden in his house. How fucking crazy is that? Imagine you're married and you have some other being living in your house that no one knows about. Like, that's fucking nuts to me. But it wasn't the case. He was writing stuff and he was creating the characters. And then to get rid of them so his wife wouldn't find out, he was throwing the paper in the fireplace. Boom, they're gone. Yeah. But it was like 3 in the morning, and dude, I was like, fuck. I see it like this part Fight Club, part Shining. Because you got the psychotic going after his wife, while the house is going after both of them and the husband's love.
Well, and I would say a bit Psycho too. Psycho, I mean, because he created his mom was...
Well, the mom was real, but he killed the mom.
Like when he was telling me, it's like, this is fucking movie, I can see it as a movie. Hour and a half. Hour 45.
But I like, just like, imagine him going after her like Jack Torrance with an axe. Like, where the fuck is she? Where the fuck is she? And the walls are melting. They're collapsing. Glass is flying at it. It's hitting him and cutting him, and he's just ignoring it. Like, you know, the house is attacking him. Dude, I don't know.
Also,
because then you think it's not supernatural because you also, you know who it is. It's a woman throwing. But there's subtle hints in the beginning where, like, you hear a female scream, and you know that's the ghost. But
what's the Johnny Depp movie?
This one?
No, the hat. Where he wears the hat.
With the corn?
Yeah. Ripped window, sticker window. A little bit of that too.
Yeah.
More so than.
I mean, it's the idea of like housing someone hidden while everything else goes on. It's so weird.
Yeah, secret room in here too.
So after that, dude, I was imagining like these walls, like
one of these books that I gotta pull.
The secret. Which one would be?
The Secret.
Right?
You have that book then? The Secret? Right here. Okay, will it? That's true.
fuck yeah, he is. Did you hear the story where he like passed out and broke his teeth on the fucking enamel or the
I believe that's
porcelain
what happened.
on the sink? He was just sitting there, and then all of a sudden he collapsed and hit his face in the sink. He says he wasn't on drugs, but he's sneaking tired. He's like fucking 70 now. Fuck. Mick Jagger should be dead. Or Keith Richards.
Yeah, Keith Moon is dead.
Keith Richards, Keith Crosby Nash.
Crosby's
Thursday is on.
Crosby's still in Nash?
Yeah, I'm almost.
Bing Crosby's in that.
Like,
Nash Bridges.
No, Kevin Nash.
No one even knew.
Bing Crosby and Kevin Nash sing Little Drummer Boy.
I was thinking it was 3 people. Bing, Crosby, and Nash. Like a law firm or something.
No, Bing Crosby and
Chandler Bing.
Yeah.
And then the guy from Crosby, Stills and Nash.
Crosby.
And then, see, I was thinking Nash Bridges, since it would be like a detective show. But you could still do it with Kevin Nash, because you already have Chandler Bing could like be a detective.
I was going Bing. I was 2.
What other Bing?
It was Bing Crosby
Bing Crosby.
and Kevin Nash.
Also with Crosby from Crosby, Stills.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because Bing Crosby is his
Bing
full
Crosby.
name, and then Kevin Nash, and they sing Little Drummer Boy. Because
Kevin Nash does the boom, 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 boom.
well, he does the David Bowie, because Bowie and Bing Crosby sang Little Drummer Boy.
Oh.
But and now like David.
Now that David Bowie's dead?
Yeah.
And not Bing Crosby?
Well, they used the hologram. Fuck it. They got the hologram rights for Bing Crosby.
I had 2 fictional characters and 1 real person. As part of my
I have a professional wrestler and a dead man. And the professional
It's a
wrestler.
real weekend at Bernie's. So
professional
it's
wrestler.
Kevin Nash and Kevin Nash doing his Bing Crosby impression. Puppet style. Singing Little Drummer Boy. That's all they do.
But Kevin Nash is also taking
It's
over.
all okay for me. Just pronouncing a bad name.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's how it goes.
Well, especially if you're fucking smoking.
Yeah.
I unplugged it.
Sound like
No, it wasn't. You'll smell it otherwise.
I have Jeffrey Jones.
Fucking hook it up. I don't know why you haven't hooked it up yet.
Do it. Dude, they were like, the facing the grass.
You realize I'm gonna edit that out.
We're still
We don't
on.
let Ernie say it, we don't let you say it.
Best podcast ever.
Maybe install the Sega.
I
Hi.
got hockey, 3 Sonic games. Sonic 2.
What else?
Huh?
Like, what else?
Not a lot of good stuff. Sonic the Hedgehog 1, hockey, golf.
PG golf.
That's the screen.
All four.
Turn it on. Or reset that.
Oh.
What? So what is this?
Did this get turned off?
Right.
That was gratifying.
A long time.
Fuck yeah!
Just like the old days, dude. Just like the old days. Where's the other controller? Because it works.
That was even more gratifying.
It fucking works.
Oh.
1992. God damn.
Gotta pick it up.
Am I going?
No.
Is anybody going?
No.
It's like when you're playing at the arcade with no quarters in. You're a little kid.
While we play Sonic the Hedgehog 2 on Sega Genesis, we bid you adieu from Cooking on High. You can find us at Facebook at Cooking on High, Facebook/Cooking on High, at Cook on High, on Twitter, Tumblr Cooking on High, and email is cookingonhigh@ymail, because
Why? Why the fuck not?
we conclude with the acoustic stylings of Gore.
Fuck! No!
Keep on going.
The rhythmic breathing.
The rhythmic.
Leatherhead.
Who's Leatherhead? Oh, the alligator?
Yeah.
He bit Chubb's hand off.
Fuck yeah, he did, and Ernie's live. 500 ways Ernie can make $500 to buy his glasses.
Reason number 1.
Sell his left testicle, $35,000. No money left over, he can buy Roman's Reigns testicle to replace his.
You have to grow it on a mouse.
Grow it out of a mouse?
Yeah.
Ernie can't even see out of his eye. How's he gonna grow it out of a mouse?
Oh, I don't know. Goodbye and have a pleasant tomorrow. You're standing on the cord the whole time. It's like a hose. This is gonna go.
Okay, so
This way, Sonic?
let's fuck this thing. Yeah.
This is the not reset. It doesn't even look like it's been taken out. Look.
Your socks they smell, your feet they stink, you never take a bath. Your nose it runs, you bust your buns, you always finish last. Sick, 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 I'm so sick, I'm sick of you. Sick. Sick, 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 I'm so sick, I'm sick of you. Your face is gross, you eat white toast, you don't know what to do. And just your luck, you really suck, that's all, I'm sick of you. Sick, 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 I'm so sick, I'm sick of you. Sick, 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 the things you say, the things you do. sick, sick, sick. I'm so sick, I'm sick of you. Sick, 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 sick. I'm so sick, I'm sick of